Hi guys, my name is Gabrielle. I'm from Westcomb Outerwear, and today I'd like to talk to you about hood designs, particularly hood designs on hard shell jackets. I got the Revenant here, and I'd like to show you a few features on the hoods. When we started Westcomb, it was apparent that there's a bit of a lack in hood design. A lot of hoods were helmet compatible, but not very comfortable if you wore it without a helmet. And of course there was always the non-helmet compatible hood. When we set out to redesign the hood, we had three primary functions that we wanted the hood to do. And one of it was to be wearable with a helmet, also to be comfortable without a helmet. So if you're not wearing the helmet, of course you have a lot of extra volume. We needed to compress down that hood into something that was wearable without a helmet. And the third thing, and probably the most difficult thing for us to achieve, was to be able to have a hood that had some way of stowing. Now most of the way of stowing that we know is you'll take the hood and roll it into the collar. That's an okay thing, but of course it tends to bulk up the collar and is not ultimately the most comfortable thing to wear. The other way is to have a zip-off hood, which I don't find is a really nice solution. Most people end up losing their hood after a few years anyway. So here's what we did. When we started thinking about re-engineering the hood, of course, as I said, it was important for us to have a helmet-compatible hood. Well, our hood is going to fit over the biggest old-school helmet out there. No problem, lots of volume in there. Of course, if you're not wearing a helmet, you're gonna have, all this volume to deal with. So how we dealt with this is we added a compression zone in the back. So by pulling this toggle down here, it lifts up the hood. We can also compress around the hood here, and with these two toggles. And we have a third adjustment, which is the peripheral adjustment, and it literally gives you good peripheral vision. Now I have no helmet on. I got a nice solid hood that follows my movement when I move, and really nice and comfy. Now the crux, as I was saying, is what do we do when we're not using the hood? 90% of the time people don't use their hood, so it ends up sitting in the back collecting snow and water. Not a very good solution. So we wanted to find a way of stowing it, and what we did is we added a collar stiffener in the back over here, so it's nice and stiff. By adding the stiffener at the same place and approximately the same shape as the brim of the hood, and by not allowing this brim to compress, only the sidewall, all you need to do is grab those toggles in the front, compress it, and it comes and cinched down, meets perfectly with the back of your collar here, and basically you're left with a really nice compact hood. Doesn't hit you in the face and whatnot. It's really nice and cinched down. You're left with a couple of cords. All you need to do is loop them like that. They won't hit you in the face. So this is our hood design. I hope it's going to serve you well.